So okay, let's get started. It came with an instruction manual and I've tried to pick out what's most relevant here. And there's some frequently asked questions and, well, I've just got one of mine answered. It is cure time LED 60 to 120 seconds and UV 120 to 180 seconds. And then it's going to leave a sticky layer that needs to be clean. Okay. And then it says happy, thank you for choosing us. And unhappy, we apologise for any inconvenience. And we do not rest until you are smiling. That's very dramatic. Okay, let's just go through this quickly. They are light, they are strong, they are safe, easy, flawless. I mean, this sounds absolutely amazing. And then suddenly it says, what is a soak-off builder gel? And it says something about that. Now, this is a hard builder gel, so you can't soak it off. So that's a little bit weird. And a lot of people perhaps be mistaken about that. Oh, let's have a look. It says what you can do with it and how to remove it. Yeah, okay. Now it says it's not a soak off. It can be removed by filing or drilling off. And there is like a page with some pictures on how to apply it. Okay, cool. So the reason I chose this is because it's hard gel that can be difficult to get hold of online. A lot of the ones on Amazon are soft and it is 100 gram. Now that is big. But the consistency of it, it's thick. It really, really is thick. It kind of reminds me more of a poly gel than a typical hard gel. The fact that it's got like a greyish appearance, that doesn't bother me. That's just the way it is. So with any surface, I'm just going to start with gently pushing back my cuticles, just to get as much of the nail plate as we can. Just be careful. As I said, don't hurt yourself when you're doing it. And then I'm going to go in with a e-file, which is a cuticle bit. It looks like a little triangle. And what that's going to do is it's going to really, really clean off the nail plate. So if you know how to use a drill, be really careful when you do it. But as I said, this is going to give great results and prevent lifting. So I'm just going to go that really quick through all my fingers. And I'm just also going to go in lightly with a sanding band. Just whip over and mat the nail down. As I said, you really have to have it on a low speed, otherwise you can ruin your nails. We don't want that. And when I'm done with that, I just kind of whip over with some alcohol on a brush because we want to get rid of the dust. Also, I'm going to use a dehydrator first. I usually always do this just to prep the nail and get it really, really ready. And I'm also going to use a non-acid primer. And you need primer, otherwise the product won't stick on your nails. These are the forms we're going to be using today. They're fairly sturdy and I've used them a lot before. I really, really like them. Now, I always take off the sticky tab on the back before I start closing the ends or doing anything else. This will give the form support so you don't sort of accidentally squeeze it into a shape you don't want. And I'll open the tabs and just sort of make sure it fits on my nail. And for me, it's really important that it's a secure fit. Now, if you have a good look here, you can see that the line in the middle needs to be aligned with the middle of the nail. And that will give you a sort of straight nail. And also, on a form, you want the lines to be running sort of parallel on the side. This is super important. So, okay, this gel is thick. It really is thick. So I'm going to deposit a small amount on the ends of the nail to start sculpting the foliage. Now, you might think it's strange that I'm not using base coat, but I am going to be using base coat. And the reason I haven't done that yet is, well, I'll tell you later. So let's just get that on nicely. And the way you apply your form is also the way your nail shape is going to end up. So we're just going to create a nice free edge on that. And what I do is I give it half time cure, so it's 30 seconds, and just go in with a magic wand and kind of pinch it. Now I am applying the base coat. And this is a soak-off base coat because, as I said, the hard gel needs to be filed off. But if you've got a soak-off, that means you don't have to file all the way down on the nail. So I'm just going to continue doing my other nails in the exact same manner. And I always do the thumbs separately. Now the idea of this is just to sort of keep the product from staying where it's supposed to. And normally, because I took a sculpting class, they said you don't have to do more than one, maximum 2 nails at a time, because unfortunately clients are a nail's worst friends because they fidget and they bump them in the lamp. So be really mindful of that. And as I said, for a beginner, I mean, this is a great product to use because it just does not go anywhere. And that's why I also chose to sculpt them today. Half cure on them as well. Just give them a quick pinch. And they have to go back in the lamp to fully harden. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more. And I really very seldom build a whole nail at once. I don't like doing it like that. I do like doing the free edge first, because that means we've got better control, and I'll show you what I'm going to do when I file it afterwards when I'm done. So I'm just kind of following the lines because that means you'll see how long they're going to be. And as I said, I'm just going to pinch all of them. That's going to give them a wicked C curve, and the structure is super important to prevent breakage. So, okay, I'm just going to finish all the fingers off. To be quite honest, if I knew how thick this really was to work with, I think I might have actually done 4 fingers at once. No, I said I'm not supposed to, but... So as I said, just applying it along and being really mindful. So, and this is the way I would do a client as well. Again, the nails I haven't done, I'm going to pinch. I mean, you don't pinch hard, and if you're a beginner, don't do this. It takes a little while, and some people only use tweezers, but I do use the magic one, but I'm super careful. Right then, I am going to go in with a base coat. Now, as you can see, I haven't taken the forms off yet, and I didn't want to do that before I had the base coat, because if you have the base coat over, it's going to sort of give a protective layer, because the free edge is going to be really thin when you've sculpted it, and by having that extra layer, it's sort of going to help hold it down. So I definitely would do that, especially if you're using a really thin gel at the free edge. Now, when I remove the forms, just pinch them together. Obviously, have to open them first, and kind of just pinch them and release them from the bottom. And this is what they look like. Now, I know they look awful, don't stress. And if you're doing a client, just tell them to relax. So we're just going to refine them a little bit. And I'm going to use a 100 over 180 grids. And I'm actually using the 180. And what this is going to do is, by refining the nails like this, that means you can use less product later. And it will give you better control of the shape, if you know what I mean. So the correct way of doing this, as I said, practice what you preach. Don't always do that. But it is actually to get the sidewall straight. Then you can go underneath. And then you can sort of refine the free edge, what you want it to look like. And I would definitely recommend, if you're doing almonds, well, any nails basically, kind of do a little bit on one side, then a little bit on the other side, because that prevents overfiling. So yeah, okay. Right, so I'm going to start applying and actually building the nail. And what positively surprised me about this nail is actually when I got it on, it did self-level quite well. And I just wasn't expecting that, because sometimes with thick gels, they're a nightmare. And you kind of apply them a bit differently to a thinner gel, because a thinner gel you would typically sort of swoop down in motion. When you're working with a thick gel like this, you need to sort of, I don't know, pillow it more. You can see that I'm doing that on the nail and just working up on the cuticles. And to be honest, one of my concerns was air bubbles, because I was thinking sometimes if you've got a thick product that you need to work a lot, what can happen is you can work air bubbles in. But I mean, I am pleasantly surprised. This was a lot easier to work with than what I expected. And I don't even like thick gels. And as I said, for a beginner, these are great. And if you're just learning to sculpt, they are great. I mean, it just does not go anywhere. And I did several nails. I did flash cure a couple of them in between. Apart from that, I think I did 2 and 2. Now, as you can see, these are really bad. They look bumpy, they look ugly. So it's really hard to finish file. So I'm going to just do that off camera, so we can see what it ends up looking like. And this is what they look like when they're done. They are really nice. I'm going to do a video on finished filing, to be quite honest. But as I said, I've got that perfect almond shape. Right, I'm just going to do a glitter fade on this, and before I start fading it, in order to get it even, I just kind of apply the same amount across on each nail. If you're not very good at this, if you start doing one nail and fade it straight away, it can come out very, very uneven. And as I said, you can see I'm just literally working on the tips, and I've got an ugly brush from eBay or somewhere, God knows where, and that is because glitter can be awful to get out. So what I'll do is I just start at the bottom and feather it down really, really lightly. I wanted glitter tips on these because my nails get kind of dirty underneath. And I'm just hiding that, to be honest. And of course, as you can see, where we've applied the same amount on all nails, it's coming out super even and the fade is even. So I am going to repeat this process twice and cure them in between. And then I'm going to finish this off with a top coat. I'm using Beetle's top coat. I'm going to link all the products below. And just doing a thin coat. And I am flash curing them in between so that the top coat doesn't go anywhere, because this top coat's kind of runny. And like I said, just a thin, even coat. Just take your time and make sure you sort of cap the edges. I'm really sorry I can't link the glitter polish because it's out of stock, so that kind of sucked. But I will link everything else below. And as I said, all in all, I am really, really surprised and happy that this came out so well. Just going to finish off with a bit of cuticle, and this is the final result. Really, really, really pretty. It's got great structure, so I'm super happy with that. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. And this video is not sponsored. I bought it with my own money, and believe it or not, I really, really recommend it. I think it is a great gel for beginners. I think price-wise, and just to be able to get hold of such a big hard gel pot, I think it's great. So I'll be checking out to see how well they hold up. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and until next time.